Dear students, welcome to the second year, that is fourth sem class. Let us first study the title of the fourth sem paper. What is your title of the fourth sem paper? That is Microcontroller and Programming in C. Please note down the autonomous syllabus. Please don't go for the University of Mysore syllabus. Okay. Our autonomous fourth sem electronics title paper is Microcontroller and Programming in C. In the microcontroller, you are having the 2 units, and in the programming C, you are having the 2 units. Totally 4 units. In that, microcontroller is taken by the Prabhakar sir and the Ravi Shankar sir, and the programming in C, both the units I am going to handle. Okay. So today we will start the programming in C. In that, first I am going to start with introduction to the C programming. Here we are going to study first introduction to the programming. Afterwards we are going to study history of C, and next you are going to study importance of C. So before going to study the C language, first let us know what is computer. What is computer? Computer is an electronic device. It accepts data and instructions. It processes the data according to the instruction and gives the result in human recognizable form. Okay. So what is computer? Computer is an electronic device. Why it is called electronic device? Because electronic components are present inside the computer, so it is called a electronic device. And next, it accepts the data and instructions. What do you mean by accepts? So it is taking the data and instructions. Okay, data is nothing but what? The input. Instruction is nothing but what? The computer don't know what to do that data. We have to tell. That means human being is going to instruct the computer what to do, when to do, and how to do through the instructions. So that is why it is called a computer accepts the data and instructions. It processes the data according to the instructions and gives the result in human recognizable form. Okay. So why I am telling that it gives the result in human recognizable form? So for that, you should understand these types of the languages. So computer understands which language? Computer understands the binary language. What do you mean by the binary language? The programs written using zeros and ones. Correct? The programs written using zeros and ones are called the binary language. Computer understands only that language. Okay, but actually this binary language is not understood by the common people. The electronics peoples and the computer people, you can understand what is the binary language and zeros and ones. But the common people cannot able to understand that language. So that is why what happens, computer is going to convert this into a common language. So that is why we are telling that computer is going to display the output in human recognizable form. Then we will come to the types of languages. Actually, we are having mainly the 3 types of the languages. Okay, in that first one is the binary language, or it is also called the machine level language. Second one is the assembly level language, and the third one is the high level language. Okay, What do you mean by the binary or the machine level language? The programs written using the zeros and ones, then it is called a binary language or the machine level language. Next, assembly level language is nothing but what? The programs written using the mnemonics is called the assembly level language. Next, high level language. What do you mean by high level language? The English, like we are writing the program using English words. Okay, how you are using the English, in the same way we are going to write the program, then it is called a high level language. Okay, in detail about these languages and the compiler you are going to study in the next slides. In this slide you are going to understand what do you mean by programming, what do you mean by software, and what do you mean by coding. First, let us study what do you mean by programming languages. Okay, what is the heading? That is programming in C. What do you mean by that? Program is nothing but programming language is nothing but what means that contains some rules. That rules here we are calling it as a grammar. The same rule is used by all the peoples, those who are studying the C language. Okay, so that is what here we have written. It is set of rules or the grammar which the user has to follow to instruct the computer what operations are to be performed. Okay, it is the set of rules or the grammar. Usually what happens whenever you are learning any language, first we are learning the grammar of that language. For example, if you are learning the Kannada language, first you are learning the grammar of that language. In the same way, English, Hindi. In the same way, for the C language also, you are learning the grammar. Nothing you are learning extra things. For the language, each language, there is some rules are there. That rules is nothing but what? The grammar. That we are going to study in this. Let us hope understood what do you mean by the programming languages. Okay, that is nothing but what set of rules which the user has to follow to instruct the computer what operations are to be performed. Next, let us study what do you mean by the programming. Programming is the process of converting the representation of solution, that is algorithm or the flowchart, into set of instructions. Actually here programming is nothing but we are writing the solution for algorithm or the flowchart using the set of instructions. I already told what do you mean by instructions. Instructions is nothing but instructing the computer what to do, when to do and how to do. Okay, set of instructions is called the program. In the simple way, what is program? Set of instructions is called the program. Set of programs is called the software. Okay, and here coding is the another one point is there. The process of writing instruction for an analyzed problem is nothing but what? The coding. Next, some programming characteristics, and that to the C program characteristics are simplicity. Simplicity is nothing but what? It is very clear understanding and readable. Next is the clarity. Clarity is nothing but what? It approach is very easy to understand. Approach is simplicity. Integrity, efficiency. All of you know what do you mean by efficiency, modularity. Modularity is nothing but what? Breaking up the problem from single task into subtask to make enhanced clarity. Okay, that is very important. Modularity is nothing but what? Breaking a problem from single task into subtasks to enhance the clarity. That means what? One big task is there. That big task is divided into many, so that it is very easy to understand and very easy to do that task. All these characters are present in the C language. Now let us just little bit history of C. We should know whenever we are studying the programming C, then if you know little bit history of that, it is somewhat good. Actually, what happens in the 1960, one language called Algol is invented by the international groups. Okay, after that, what happens in the 1967, Martin Richards invented the BCPL language. Actually, this is the basic of the C language. First, this BCPL was introduced, afterwards B, next is the C. But in between this B and the C, these all the languages come into existence. Okay. In the 1970, what happens? Ken Thompson introduced the B language by changing some of the characteristics of this BCPL language. In the 1970, B was introduced, and in 1972, C language is introduced by the Dennis Ritchie. Okay, this takes the lot of difference and lot of improvement in the software technologies. In between this, all these are come. I think all of you have listened these names, that is Basic, Fortran, Cobol and the Pascal. Okay, next. So next, what happens in the 1978, this C is invented in 1972. But after the 1972, what happens? This is not so popular. Actually, it is a very good language. But when Kernighan wrote one book in 1978, that is very, now afterwards what happens? C is very famous. Okay, after writing this book, you both combined, they have wrote one book. It is very in 1989, ANSI C was introduced just by adding some important characteristics like volatile and the time, and that is accepted by the ISO committee, and afterwards it is called as ANSI or ISO C. And in the 1999, what happens? Once again the committee is standardized the C. Afterwards we are going to get it as C++ and the Java. This is some brief history about the C language. Now let us see in which laboratory that C was introduced. Okay, already we learned that C is invented by the Dennis M. Ritchie in 1970s. Okay, and it is developed in AT&T Bell Labs, New Jersey, USA. In 1978, Dennis Ritchie and Brian Kernighan together published a detailed description of C language. And in 1983, ANSI establishes the committee to create a standard for C language. Just it is for your understanding purpose. Okay, now let's move to the importance of C. Why it is so important and why you are going to learn the C language. Okay. First, actually C is a one structured language. What do you mean by structure? Means here the program is divided into number of modules for each task. Okay. What is structured? Structure is nothing but one big work is there. That big work is divided into many. Okay, that is called the modules. Okay, let us read the definition of the modules. Modules are the functions. Modularity adds program readability, clarity, efficiency, and this makes C more powerful. Collection of modules makes a complete program. Modular structure makes program debugging, testing, and maintenance easier. And another point about the structural language is what I told. Structured language is nothing but this is going to divide the task into different models. Other than that, structured language also allow many programming constructs such as sequence constructs, ability to execute the statement line by line or modules one after the other from beginning to end. That means another point about the structured language is structured language also allows many programming constructs such as sequence constructs, ability to execute the statements line by line or modules one after the other from the beginning to end. That means what? Another point about this structured language is here the program is going to execute line by line is the one method. Another one method is some set of statements are going to execute it, or if you want depends on the conditions, some set of statements are executed and some set of statements are not executed, or some set of the statements are executed repeatedly. Okay, that is why what happens, C is a structured language. Okay, for this all you are going to study different statements. Okay, when I am explaining that everything, that is this statement is going to executed line by line like that. So in the next coming classes you will come to know better what do you mean by execution line by line or execution one after the other. But in the today's class you should understand that the structured language is nothing but it is divided into number of modules for each work, and that modules are called the functions. And the structural language is nothing but it allows many programming constructs such as sequence constructs. That is nothing but sequence construct is nothing but line by line or modules one after the other from the beginning to. Okay, and here selection constructs is nothing but I told no, ability to allow user to decide on execution of certain set of statements based on requirement or conditions. Okay, here the example I have given the statement is if else statement is there in the C program. Depends on the conditions it is going to execute set of statements. Okay. Next, iteration or looping constructs. What do you mean by iteration or the looping constructs? Means if you want to repeat any statements, then we are using the concept called iteration or the looping. For example, we are having the for loop statement. Okay, and other than this, what happens? C is a rich set of built-in functions, data types, operators, and these are all we are using to write the complex programs. Okay, so what I told no importance of C in detail you are going to study in coming classes. Okay, first you are going to study what are the data types we are using in the C language, what are the operators, how many types of operators are there, that you are going to study in detail in the next classes. Okay. And let us continue the importance of the C language. What is means C is a mid-level language. It is called the mid-level language.
why it is called the middle level language means it is going to combine the capabilities of assembly language with the features of high level language or English like language. Okay, in the first slide we studied the types of the language. In that, what I told, we are having the three types of the languages: binary language, assembly level language, and the English like language. Okay, binary language means the programs written using zeros and ones. Assembly level language means the programs written using mnemonics is called the assembly level language. High level is nothing but what? English like languages. When it combines the features of assembly level language and the English level language, then it is called a middle level language. Okay, actually C is a middle level language, but you don't confuse. Somebody or in some books it is given as high level language. Both are the same. You can call it as a middle level language or the English like language. Okay, and C compilers are written in C. What do you mean by compiler? Means compiler is a software which translates high level language into its equivalent machine or the binary language. Okay, we are writing the programs in the C. That is, C should be high level language or the low level. That means it is an English like language that should be converted into the binary language. For that we are using a one software that is called the compiler. What is C compiler? This is a one software which translates the high level language into equivalent machine or the binary language. I already told machine language and the binary language both are the same. They are written using zeros and ones. And C is highly portable. What do you mean by portable? Means if you have written the program for one computer, the same program can be written in another computer with different operating systems and the hardware. That is why C is very popular, because it is portable. C has ability to extend itself. Using the library functions we are going to extend, and C is efficient and fast. These are the some importance of the C language. And some reference books I have given. These two are the reference books for the microcontroller. Okay, for your reference I have given here. These are the microcontroller reference books and these two are the C program. Okay, so it is somewhat common statement, but even though I decided, or I want to tell you once again that stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. You are very precious to your family and our college also, our department. Okay, please stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. This is also important. After this, you should go through again and again this video for better understanding. Okay, and next, if you have any doubts or any questions regarding this, you can put in the Telegram group or you can put in the comment box of this video. Okay, next we will meet in the next video.